Wow, I'm excited today because do you know it's election season this year, and we're going to be electing new people to sit in office, and it's very important to get the right people. And I'm really privileged today because we have a man, Ernie Rivera, and he is actually running for the U.S. Senate seat here for the United States representing Florida. So welcome. It is good to have you here today.
Well, thank you, Pastor Ralph. It's a privilege to be able to share with your community here in Sarasota and Manatee and throughout all of this West Coast. As a Floridian, right? I'm from Tallahassee, so this is my neck of the woods also. I feel very comfortable, and thank you so much for inviting me into your home.
Well, you know what? We're just honored. I want people to get to know you a little bit.
Okay.
So I want you to give us a little history where you were born and raised, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Well, that's awesome. What can I say? I come from a very rich culture of the Hispanic world. My parents were Puerto Rican. They're with the Lord now. My dad was a pastor for 69 years.
Wow.
And my mom a missionary. We established the mission in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and from there we branched out, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba. We've been all over the Caribbean and Central and South America. But by the grace of God, the Lord allowed me to be born in Tallahassee. And I know a lot of people say that's part of Alabama or that's part of Georgia. No, I'm very proud from Tallahassee. This is for me a great opportunity. I am married. I've been married for 43 years. Wow. How has she held on to me for that long? I don't know. The same woman, she's from Cuba. She was brought in the arms of her parents. She was 6 months old only.
Yes.
Delcy is my wife, and she's also a servant of the Lord, very, very consecrated, loves children, right?
Yeah.
And she's been an educator, and she does really good cakes also. She knows how to cook. But, well, yeah, you can tell. I'm not skinny.
You're enjoying it.
Yeah, I enjoy what she does. But our family is basically, we have one son. God granted us a beautiful blessing to have one son, and he's a man of God also.
Yeah.
And hardworking. He's a federal agent, and he serves protecting our country.
Wow.
And we feel very proud of him. And he preaches the gospel, and he's a man that has great values. And I have one grandson, a little redhead kid. That's he's dynamite. Very smart child, and we thank the Lord because I was blessed. Okay, my parents were missionaries. They were people that had values in our home.
Yes.
We never had any type of liquor, any type of vice inside the home. It was a home that raised us with the values that our country's losing right now.
Yes.
And we have to come back. Pastor Ralph, well, you preach it from the pulpit every week. We have to come back to have these values and these morals that our nation is being torn apart. So basically, what can I say? I'm one of 6 siblings, okay? We didn't have too much TV back then, so the family's big. I got something like 50 nephews and nieces and grandnephews and nieces. It's a big family.
Yes.
It's a beautiful family.
So how do you go from being a minister to politics?
Well, it's very interesting. I'm an entrepreneur also, a businessman. I've been involved, like St. Paul. People don't know that in the Bible, the guy that wrote 3/4 of the New Testament, Paul was actually a businessman also. He made tents.
Yeah.
So I've been involved in ministry for so many years, 48 years. I've been an ordained pastor, but I've also been involved in businesses as well as an educator. I'm a PDK, they call it. It's Phi Delta Kappa, Distinguished Educators of America. And my interest has always been Ralph, to help the family, to help our communities. And this has always, for 48 years, that's what we've done. We've built schools and orphanages. We've helped homes for the veterans, homes for the elderly. We've had centers in different areas here in Miami, like in other countries. The need is there. The heart is needed.
Yes.
So when I came to the point, that was back in 2015. I don't know if you want me to give the whole story or not, okay? But it was basically God speaking to me, and I was complaining, okay? As a pastor of a major ministry, thousands of people and schools and TV and radio ministry, newspapers. The Supreme Court back in 2015 decided to go against what we've always known, marriage is between a man and a woman. That's what God intended. That's what's been practiced for zillions of years. But our Supreme Court changed that in 2015 and said, no, it's a man with a man, a woman with a woman. And I respect everybody's decision as adults.
Yes.
Okay? But I do not agree
Yes.
with the sin. Okay? I think it was St. Augustine that says we love the sinner, but we despise the sin. And as a pastor, as a politician, as a leader, I have a very strong commitment in values, okay? One of the strongest values I have is to protect the family, our children. I established Protect Our Children Project here in Florida. It's the leading organization protecting children. The human traffic of children, the sex, Florida is the third state in the nation. And I'm asking, what has our government done to stop this? Why hasn't the government taken steps in our state, okay, to eliminate? How is it possible that Hillsborough County is the #1 capital in our state of sex trafficking and human trafficking of children? So there's so many things that bothered me, and I said, well, you can talk all you want to talk, right? But who's going to stand up and who's going to fight the fight? So I decided.
So you complained to God, and God says, so what are you going to do about it?
And that was the change of my life.
Wow.
When I told my wife, I had 156 employees in our ministries.
Wow.
Schools and gyms and, food services, a very, very large organization. I was set for life. I did not have to go into politics. When I told my wife, I said, Delcy, I feel God's calling me to go into politics. She says, "You're crazy, kid."
Was she checking your temperature?
It probably increased my meds. You got to drink something, kid, because why would you want to leave the comfort that you've worked for so many years? Your finances, everything is established, and all of a sudden you say no. I don't agree with what's happening out there. I do not agree with those that are abusing our children. I do not agree with all of this mess that's happening with our finances, the affordability. I do not agree that our cities are being corrupted with the worst of the worst. There's so many homeless people. And sure, you can cover your eyes with your hand and say, yeah, the sky isn't blue. Bro, I understand that it's a responsibility. So I grabbed the pulpit and I said, and that was back in 2016. That's when I started running. My first race. I'm a former U.S. Senator for Florida candidate, 2016. And I said, it's not enough to talk about it. Somebody has to do something about it. So I decided, I says, I'm going to take the pulpit and I'm going into politics.
Yeah.
You know who were the first ones to criticize me? It was the pastors.
Yeah.
Other fellow pastors, my friends, and they said, how do you dare take the holiness, sanctity of the pastorship going into the dirty world of politics? And let me tell you, it is dirty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of corruption going on.
But unless we put good people into office, it's never going to change.
What did Einstein say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and electing the same people and expecting different results. If we keep on choosing the same people and the establishment, it does not work. Comprende. We got to understand this. If we keep on doing the same thing we've been doing for years and years, we are not going to have different results. Einstein knew something about it, right? And that's where I understood, Pastor, that either I stand up or I shut up. And I decided to do something. I tried.
Well, thank you. I mean, it takes a lot of will and oomph to step out, and a wife that'll finally say, yes, you can. But, having a name of Rivera, obviously you grew up in the Spanish language and in Hispanic communities, and our Hispanic communities right now are really struggling.
Yes, sir.
A lot of them, their parents brought them over when they were kids. They've been here for 15, 20, 25 years, and they're not documented, and they're scared, and they're thinking they're going to get thrown out of the country. They don't know the country they came from because they were 3, 4, 5 years old when they came. They've been living in the United States, and they've been paying taxes. They've got jobs, and now there's a great fear. And I said, we have to come up with something that's humane for everybody to help them become part of this country, because I'm an immigrant as well, and I came from another country, and I went through the process. We need to give them an opportunity to go through the process, providing they're not criminals. Obviously, if there's criminals, it's another story.
Bad hombres, like Jesse Waters says on Fox, you're out. You're supposed to be out a long time ago, but this community, America is made out of immigrants. Okay, let's get the story straight. In the 1800s, the 1850s, it was a great immigration push. It went through up to the 1920s. Millions of people, from Irish, Italians, Germans. It's a lot of people coming in, and that's what has made the fabric of America so special. So this influx that came in the past administration has messed things up, okay? Because basically everybody was living quite well, and there's, I ask everyone, how many undocumented or illegal immigrants do you think there are in the United States? Everybody looks at me and says, well, I don't know, 100,000, a million? There's 35 million people living in our country that need documentation. Now,
that's the size of some countries.
That's the size of all the Caribbean countries put together. Cuba, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. No, it's massive. Now, then there were 19 to 20 million people here established, like you're saying, 12, 18, 20 years. Their kids were born here.
Yes.
They've been raised in our schools. They're in our clubs, the baseball, the basketball club. They're part of our fabric. The parents are part of our churches. These people pay their taxes. They work hard. Some of them work 2 or 3 jobs. There has to be humanity and a process. I know the Republican Party, which I am a member of the Republican Party, okay? There's some people that says, no, let's get rid of everybody. So, we all might as well leave, okay? Just, go back wherever you came from. But those that are decent, hardworking people, Pastor, don't you think they should be able to, and in a fair process? So
yes.
What have I done? Back in 2016 with Dr. Samuel Pagan. Dr. Pagan is a specialized attorney for 35 years. He was a judge also in the process of immigration. He's specialized in this. And he and I joined up, and our book's coming out this month now.
What's it called?
You'll never believe it. It's Oops, I Crossed the Border Illegally. And how can we bring in the group of people that have come into our country that have been here for years. Now, those that just came in the last administration, calculate between 10 to 15 million. I suggest, and this is my opinion, and as a U.S. Senator, I'm going to make this happen. I believe they should return to their place of origin. President Trump is offering them something like $2,600 per family member plus a plane ticket. A family of 4 can make like 10 grand.
Wow.
And that goes a long way. The point is, if they go back to their origin, we can process everyone.
Yes.
See, I was sitting in front of President Trump in his rallies, sitting in front of him right there when he would say, I want to build a big wall, right? The press would, and the liberal press always cuts it off and says, oh, he wants to build a wall and keep people out. No. Immediately he would say, and I want to build a big door, a big door where everyone can come through and we can vet them and know who they are.
Yes.
It's not bad about you coming into our country. We just want to know who you are. Yeah. Where are you? What are your intentions? And have you part of our society? And I think that's fair.
Well, you know, when I came through the country, I had to go get a criminal record of myself.
Did you pass?
I did, basically. I did. Yeah, no,
okay,
I'm kidding.
You got it.
No, it was all good, but we had to go through the process, and I don't blame another country for not wanting to have criminals come into their country. Why would you want them?
No, and
and so I understand that if somebody has ill intentions that are going to come in and hurt somebody else, listen. I fully, completely understand.
We have to be have common sense.
Yes.
Okay. If a person wants to come here and you have, I mean, and it's not only Hispanics. You're talking Asians, you're talking Africans, you're talking people from all around the world.
Yeah.
It's great. You will make our country richer. You will bring in new experiences, new opportunities, new foods, new businesses.
Yeah.
But we have to know who's coming in.
Yes.
So we have to have a border. I mean, I have so many people say, "Oh, but why does Trump want to have a wall?" I said, "Well, I went to Rome, okay,
yeah.
and the Vatican has a very big wall,
That's
okay.
Right.
I got pictures of it. So yes." We all want to have protection.
Yes.
I do not leave the door of my home open, Pastor, at night. I lock my door.
Yes.
Whoever wants to come to my home has to knock on the door.
Yes.
I decide who comes in.
Yes.
And I think that's what every American family wants to do.
I do appreciate that, and I appreciate your openness to want to share this. Can you maybe share in Spanish? I won't understand what you're saying, obviously, but just share your heart with the folks, because we need them to support you. They need to know who you are, that you have their backs, and that you want to help them. I would love for you just to take a minute or two and just share in Spanish.
Well, you know, this campaign, basically, it's between two candidates, right? And what I'm saying is, it's not between a good candidate and a bad candidate. Both candidates, I believe both of us are good, and we want to do good for our state. The difference is that I share the language and the culture also. Plus, I eat the rice and beans, right? I love that, of the Hispanic culture. Yo soy uno de ustedes. Yo soy parte de la fábrica humana del pueblo hispano, latino. Entendemos que nosotros tenemos que tener a alguien representándonos, como Marco Rubio nos representó tan excelentemente a través de estos años. Hoy es el secretario de Estado más conocido de la historia de los Estados Unidos. Yo necesito que ustedes se elijan una persona que pueda identificarse. Yo soy un hispano. Nací por la gracia de Dios en este estado, pero quiero que tú seas parte, feliz también, de nuestro estado, de nuestra nación. Para eso necesita ir a Ernie, E-R-N y latina, del puntito E, el número 4, y Senate, ¿o cómo? Senado, ¿no? It's ernie4senate.com. Cuando tú te registres para votar, agosto 18, si quieres votar por mí, if you want to vote for me, you have to be a Republican. In our state, only Republicans can vote for Republicans in the primaries. Solo los republicanos pueden votar por republicanos en las primarias. If you're independent, si eres independiente, you can't vote. Not for Democrats or Republicans. But if you decide to have someone like me to represent and to be part of your government and standing for you, it's 48 years of serving. People ask me, what do you promise? La gente me pregunta, ¿qué tú prometes? Yo digo, nada. Yo voy a seguir haciendo lo que he hecho por 48 años. I said, I'm not going to promise anything. I'm just going to keep on doing what I've done for 48 years. Why am I going to change what God has given me as a calling? We have been very successful. So there I spoke English and Spanish, and that's very Puerto Rican. We call it Spanglish. Okay? We change between English and Spanish, and it makes it very attractive.
It sounded good. I can say that.
Thank you.
I want to just talk real quickly about affordability. A lot of people are struggling, and I've heard this a lot from younger families, even with the medical insurance and expenses. That Obamacare was a disaster. It ruined the insurance industry.
Completely.
We had great insurance, and then when that came in, we literally lost our insurance, and then we had to get insurance we didn't even need, and it was just a schmozzle. How do you go on behalf of Floridians and sit down with both sides?
Well, that's one of
and work out something
that's one of the advantages I have. Being a pastor, being a man of God, and having served for 48 years, I can deal with both sides of the aisle, right? Democrats respect me, and hundreds of them have said they're going to vote for me now because they understand that I'm trying to do what's right for our country. Republicans love me because I stand for our values, right? Yeah. Christian, conservative, historical, constitutional. So when we get to the Senate, we have to create a new plan that will open the insurance, the medical insurance, across the borders. It's the United States of America. We're one nation under God.
Yeah.
So if competition, and I am a capitalist, okay, I said I am a businessman, I believe in good, healthy competition, let's lower those costs. It's just like the home insurance. My Lord, I'm paying more for the home insurance than I pay for my house.
Yeah.
So we have to deal with the car insurance, the home mortgage insurances. Health is definitely. We cannot have our seniors, okay, having to decide whether they buy their medicines or buy their food.
Yeah.
This isn't right. So I want to deal with this, just like affordability with the housing. I'm a certified manager of housing by HUD. I have my license for over 30 years. I know the laws that are already established that can just be turned on. You don't have to legislate. You don't have to go to Congress. It's already there, and be able to start between the private industry, the construction companies, the developers, with the government, to be able to create good homes. I'm not talking, shacks, okay? And this isn't like a third world country type of homes. No, I'm talking about $200,000-$300,000 homes, but at an interest rate that the young couples can have, at affordable, so that our young people can start having their families.
Yes.
Most of them are living at home.
Well, in a lot of the states in the United States where the housing is so expensive, pick California, pick New York.
Forget it. Yeah.
I don't know how those people afford to do it. They don't get married till very late in life because they've got to earn and save, and there's a lot of financial pressure on those younger folks to make it. And I appreciate at us growing up, we had to work hard.
Yes.
But we had opportunities to be able to afford things, to be able to step in and own our own homes and have the affordability on that. So that is crucial to a lot of these young
It's
families.
necessary. See, if our nation has the theory, the thought, the philosophy that every young couple should be able to own their own home.
Yes.
And once you own your own property, you take care of it, you do your gardens, you do whatever, right? That gives stability to our nation.
Yes.
And this is one of the areas I want to attack. I am certified in that area as well. I am a certified manager of finance. I'm an auditor. I know how to do the finances. And Congress needs a lot of financial oversight right now. You know, I think Elon Musk, when he started the Doge, my Lord.
Boy, they didn't like him.
They started burning his cars, you know, right?
Yeah.
And it's because nobody likes somebody poking in the eye and say, look, you know, you got 150, 160-year-old people receiving checks.
Yeah.
I haven't seen somebody 150 years
or 250 for some of them. It was crazy. But
no, and see, all of that has to be taken care of.
Here's the thing. I think what it boils down to is, we're going to wrap up here right now, is having common sense. And I think when you've been in the ministry for 48 years, you've heard and seen pretty much every story.
Everything.
Having common sense and having integrity, being able to make a decision. And I think the frustration for a lot of people is when they voted for people, they would give them all the yeses, and then they got in and did something completely opposite. And it frustrates the voters. And I
had a pastor tell me that, a very prominent pastor here in Florida. He told me, I'm not going to support you or any politician. I've been doing this for 17 years. They all use me. They get elected, and then they all go and forget about the church or forget about their promises. And I responded. I said, Pastor, with all due respect, how many of those politicians have been serving as an ordained pastor for 48 years, preaching the gospel, helping the children, helping the elderly, helping our veterans, having homes for them, pulling them off the streets, rehab centers to help them? And his answer was, Pastor, you're right, none of them. I said, that's the difference.
Yeah.
I'm in this because I want to do something that will change. I do not need the job, okay? I do not need the title. I got the biggest title in the world. It's a servant of God.
Yes.
Okay, that's the biggest. You can't get bigger than that. But I do want to see that our state, that Florida, okay, and that's my theme. Faith, family, Florida first. Faith, family, Florida first. That's what we have to stand on. And if you give me your vote, if the people understand that I am worthy, I am not the same thing that's going to be out there, okay? Okay, you're not going to get the same package or the little club, like they say, of the traditional politicians. I'm here to do something for you, for our state. This is my state and my people. Yo quiero hacer algo para ti. Yo quiero hacer algo diferente. Soy uno de nosotros. Vamos a trabajar juntos. Let's work together.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. You are a great man, and I know that you're a man of your action and word, and when you commit to something, you fulfill it. And I always wanted the people to get to know who Ernie is.
Thank you so much.
Because he's not just talking about things. He's a man of action that's going to
48 years doing it.
You're not going to change now, right?
I don't think my boss, my wife won't let me change it. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Bless you.